First Aid Kits, More Than an Afterthought, by Brian Harper, performed by Dr. Frans Cronje. There's no easier way to improve readiness for emergencies in remote settings than to bring a first aid kit. The presence of a few important items can make a big difference in an injured person's ability to continue a trip. Some of these items, when used quickly and skillfully, can even speed recovery and improve the ultimate outcome of an accident. Building your kit. When building a first aid kit, a commercially available one is a good place to start. Manufacturers have sought the expertise of active and experienced boaters, backpackers and divers, so there are many good kits on the market today. Check out alertdiver.com for more information on the art of building first aid kits. Get tips on maintaining your kit, more suggestions on basic contents and advice on how to customize it for your favorite recreational pursuits. One benefit of a pre-made kit is that the items in it are usually present in about the right quantities. Starting from scratch is typically harder and more expensive at the outset, since it can be difficult to buy some of the items in the number you need. Commercially available kits also come in cases that are sized to the user's needs, and they're built from durable materials and often clearly marked in colors or symbols that indicate what they are, allowing easy recognition by anyone. Pre-made kits are also organized to permit quick identification of the internal contents. This keeps rescuers from having to dump everything on the ground and sift through it to find what is needed. Compartmentalization allows quick access to needed items, and transparent containers permit easy identification of internal kit components. Commercially manufactured first aid kits are a great place to start when building your custom kit for the first time. Dan also offers a variety of first aid kits that will fit most needs and budgets. First aid kits range in size, from a simple pair of latex gloves folded inside a bandana to lots of medical equipment. After starting with a pre-made kit, customize it for the trip being planned. The size and contents of a first aid kit should reflect the number of people in the party, their level of medical training, the length of the trip and the environment. Add any items uniquely suited to the upcoming trip. Kits for long hikes should include extra blister care items, while kits designed to be used by divers in salt water should contain a bottle of vinegar for treating jellyfish stings. There are a few items that don't always come in pre-made kits that are handy in any environment, such as a miniature LED headlamp, a pen, a small notepad, and a watch with a second hand, making it easier to measure vital signs and documenting an incident. The most accessible item in any first aid kit should be a pair of nitrile or latex gloves. They create a barrier between the rescuer and the injured person, reducing the likelihood of disease transmission to either. Gloves can also lend an air of credibility to a rescuer. They might help an injured person to accept a caregiver's influence and help, and it may even put the rescuer in a mindset in which they haven't been since the last first aid class. A CPR or cardiopulmonary resuscitation mask is another important barrier device to include. It minimizes the risk of disease transmission during rescue breathing and CPR. Soft tissue injuries can occur in any environment, so all kits should contain supplies for treating wounds and burns. Pack items that, when combined with direct pressure, will help control bleeding, such as gauze and other absorbent materials. Once bleeding is under control, wounds must be cleaned. Scrubbing the area around a wound with soap or antiseptic wipes helps keep bacteria on the skin from contaminating the wound. Thorough irrigation with a stream of water from an irrigation syringe is the best way to minimize the risk of infection. Sanitized tweezers are also useful for removing debris. After wounds are clean, they should be kept moist and covered. Wounds must be redressed regularly, so pack shears for easy bandage removal and plenty of dressing materials, including more gauze, Kerlex, or some non-adherent adaptic or Telfa dressings for burns, and particularly sticky wounds. Include self-adherent Coban, also known as vet wrap, and an ample supply of tape to keep dressings in place. In wet environments, tincture of benzoin is invaluable for helping bandages adhere to skin. Pack double antibiotic ointment to keep abrasions infection-free, and include plenty of band-aids. For small wounds, they're hard to beat. Treatment of musculoskeletal injuries often involves a support mechanism like a sling or splint to limit movement and cushion the injured body part. Many of the items used to build a splint would come from the outside of a first aid kit, like towels, fins, spare clothing, etc. But a good kit will have items that can help with construction. Triangular bandages or cravats are included in many pre-made kits because of their utility as slings, fasteners, and even as absorbent material. Spare boot laces, safety pins, and short lengths of parachute cord can also aid in splint building. For less severe musculoskeletal injuries, elastic bandages can limit mobility just enough to prevent further harm, but still allow some movement. Aspirin is good to have on hand in case of unexplained chest pain, which could indicate a cardiovascular emergency, such as myocardial infarction or heart attack. Ibuprofen, sold in South Africa as Nurofen or Brufen, is good for musculoskeletal pain and inflammation. Paracetamol or Panado is a pain reliever and fever reducer that can safely be given when other pain relievers aren't an option because of the increased risk of bleeding, such as after a head injury. First aid kits designed to be taken offshore should include motion sickness medication like meclizine, dimenhydramine, or similar ones. Loperamide or Imodium is helpful for minimizing dehydration that accompanies diarrhea, but it does not address the cause, and if there's blood in the stool, then one should not use something that would reduce the amount of flow, as this may cause an invasive infection. Antihistamines like diphenhydramine are also useful for combating allergic reactions. Open it up. Before every trip, open your first aid kit. Stock up on items you wished you had on previous trips and replenish everything you've used up. Throw away anything that looks expired, damaged, or degraded. Learn to use any items with which you're not familiar, or remove them from the kit if you don't know what to do with them or won't use them. By going through your kit regularly, it will become less of an afterthought that gets thrown into the truck or boat, and more of a tool that you can use skillfully and put to use when it's needed.